Learning a new language and why you must do it. I know it's a controversial time, especially with the CBSE's three language compulsion, as we call it. But nevertheless, I'm going to speak about why I'm passionate about languages and why I actually speak more than eight languages. We often treat languages as a mere practical transactional tool, a means to order food, to navigate a new country, or build a resume. But when you truly step inside a new language, you quickly realize it is far more than a collection of words. It is a window into another culture, a time machine, and surprisingly, a mirror that reflects your own identity. My obsession with language truly deepened when I decided to look backward and explore my mother tongue, Tamil. Like many of us, I spoke it daily, but I hadn't truly explored it. Diving into classical Tamil literature was like unlocking a vault of pure grandeur. I was swept away by the sheer majesty of the ancient Tamil dynasties, the Cholas, the Cheras, the Pandyas, and the Pallavas, whose legacies felt larger than life. I learned that these weren't just regional kingdoms, they were global empires. They were chronicled by ancient historians like Megasthenes and maintained vast trade links that stretched across the Mediterranean to the Greeks and the Romans, through the waves of Southeast Asia, and more recently discovered even into Egypt. Driven by this reading, I traveled to the very places where this history unfolded, standing on the soil where empires rose and reliving those golden eras in my mind. Through the written word, I witnessed history breathe. I felt the pulse of the brutal and brilliant Battle of Veni, where Karigala Cholan's tactical genius won the day, and the greatness of the enemy Chera Emperor, Cheraman Perencheraladan, who never turned his back even in the face of death, described with a vivid intensity that felt entirely cinematic. I found myself weeping as I turned the pages of Su Venkatesan's Velpari, completely shattered and moved by the tragic, noble story of the tribal king Pari. And then, of course, there is the legendary Kalki, getting lost in the beautiful, sprawling worlds of Ponniyin Selvan and the enchanting Mohini Thivu, ignited a lifelong hunger in me. I'm still exploring, and the well never runs dry. Interestingly, stepping into a foreign language also transforms how you perceive the ones you already speak. For years, speaking English or Tamil was just a natural instinct. I didn't think about the mechanics, I just spoke. But when I began learning French, something fascinating happened. Dissecting its grammar forced me to slow down and consciously analyze grammatical nuances. Suddenly, the newfound structural awareness leaked into my English. I returned to English literature with entirely new eyes. I reread Shakespeare and Milton, appreciating the deliberate weight and the cadence of their syntax in a way I never could as a student. Even the sharp rhythmic wit of George Bernard Shaw came rushing back to me, newly illuminated by the structure of a completely different tongue. But perhaps the most beautiful, unexpected gift of learning a new language is how it forces you to become a child again. When you start at the very beginning, you have to shed your adult ego. You are humbled. You are back to reading children's stories and listening to basic folklore. For me, this process became deeply nostalgic. It transported me straight back to my own childhood, to warm nights where my cousins and I would sit huddled around our grandmother. She would spin incredible myths, sometimes hilariously dozing off mid sentence when we waited in breathless suspense. Many of those cousins are no longer in touch today. Life is a way of complicating and fracturing relationships as we grow up. Yet, sitting with beginning language books, these fond memories washed over me. softening the hardened edges of adulthood. It reminded me of the pure, amazing times we shared, and somehow the petty grudges and the distances that had accumulated over the years just began to melt away. Learning a language heals you, sharpens you, and connects you to histories both globally grand and deeply personal. If you have been looking for a sign to start that new language, buy the grammar book, get the app, or deep dive into an ancient epic. That is it. Trust me, you won't just learn a new language, you'll find an entirely new way to see,